the life and legacy of Lilly Pulitzer. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and like this video, and check out our weekly newsletter located in the description. For many, the name Lilly Pulitzer conjures up images of an affluent, impeccably groomed woman that is bound for the beach. But the reality was far more colorful. Lilly, although a Palm Beach socialite, her look did not suggest it. Lilly was a free-spirited bohemian. She hated undergarments in the Florida heat, often had unkempt hair, and was typically barefoot, all while being followed by her pet monkey named Goonie. Lillian Lee McKim was born on November 10, 1931, in Roslyn, New York. Both her mother and father, Lillian Bostwick and Robert McKim, respectively, were old money families. Lillian's grandfather, Jabs Bostwick, helped create the Standard Oil Company. However, both Lilly's mother and father divorced when she was just 6 years old. Still, her childhood was stable and affluent. She had stated, "I had a party every year, and thinking back on it, we just had everything." She attended Miss Porter's school in Connecticut, the same as the former First Lady Jackie Onassis Kennedy, and growing up, they were classmates and school pals. Pulitzer's longtime friend Catherine Livingston wrote more about the connection with Jackie Kennedy in her book, Lilly, Palm Beach, Tropical Glamour, and the Birth of a Fashion Legend. According to Livingston, Jackie Kennedy would later go on to wear one of Pulitzer's signature creations, a dress fittingly called Lilly. Livingston wrote, "When Jackie and little Caroline were later photographed in matching Lillys, both the cotton shift and the Pulitzer name gained national attention from their association with the promise and style of the young administration." But long before Jackie Kennedy would wear one of Lilly's dresses, and even longer before entering into the fashion world, Lilly briefly went to college. She had stated, "I couldn't stand it. I went for 2 months. I loved my boarding school, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't have a career." So, she stated, she worked as a nurse's aide in Kentucky and at a veterans hospital in the Bronx. Pulitzer had added, "I liked it, just giving me time." Livingston further described Pulitzer's newfound job. She would frequently ride a mule or a horse through the woodsy Kentucky hills, delivering medicine and supplies to needy mothers and newborn babies in remote outposts. Sometimes Lilly would be asked to lend a hand in the home births. At other times, she served as an assistant nurse midwife in the delivery room of the Mary Breckinridge Hospital, which had just been built at the top of Thousand Sticks Mountain by the time Lilly arrived in 1949. Lilly met Peter Pulitzer, and in no time she was a Pulitzer herself. The two lovebirds eloped in 1952, when Lilly was just 21. And yes, Lilly married that Pulitzer of the famed Pulitzer Prize. Herbert Peter Pulitzer Jr. was the golden boy grandson of fabled family patriarch Joseph Pulitzer. Joseph Pulitzer was the Gilded Age newspaper baron who successfully laundered the questionable reputation of his tabloids by endowing a prestigious and infamous prize still given annually by Columbia University. His grandson, Peter Jr., wanted nothing to do with the media legacy of which he was an heir. He was handsome, ambitious, and said to be a wild card, and he wanted to make a name for himself and his own fortune, and he succeeded in the fortune part. His name, however, will forever be tied to one of the most scandalous divorces in Palm Beach history. He was born in New York in 1930 and was raised in luxury. He had an adventurous streak that friends found exciting. He was racy, in the sense of just jumping into his plane and flying off, said Peter Duchin, the legendary band leader and a family friend. He dropped out of college and used $500,000 of his family's money to fund early businesses. By the time he met Lilly, he also owned citrus groves in Central Florida. In many ways, Lilly was his perfect match, a young woman of equal social stature who who also found the charmed life stifling. They were two of a kind, and they soon became the toast of Palm Beach. They weren't just attractive, they were interesting. As legend has it, in 1952, on a day when Lilly was supposed to be having tea on Long Island with her friend Nancy Harris, she was off to Maryland, eloping with Peter Pulitzer. Everyone was shocked. Family and friends were hardly aware that Lilly even knew Peter, let alone loved him. When Peter called Robert McKim to say, "I've just married your daughter," McKim asked, "Which one?" But they soon settled into their life in Palm Beach. And right from the start, they were a bold-faced statement. Tarzan and Jane. They had dogs, cats, monkeys, and even a calf. They enjoyed hosting formal gatherings at their home. They had a large, big, bright kitchen that could seat more than 30 people. And they had the best of times. The Pulitzers' turn-of-the-century clapboard house was a place to which everyone wanted to go, full of children, dogs, music, energy, and fun. Imagine being invited to one of those phenomenal parties in Palm Beach in the 1960s. It would certainly be a hard opportunity to pass up. But although Lilly loved to entertain, she also liked to keep things private and unwind by herself, which coincides with our sponsor today. One way that I like to unwind is by playing June's Journey, which also happens to be today's sponsor. June's Journey is a free hidden object mystery game set in the glamorous 1920s that immerses players in a rich detective narrative. Explore a diverse cast of characters as you progress through thrilling mystery scenes, guiding June Parker in her quest to unveil her sister's murder and unravel her family's hidden secrets. Along the way, enjoy June's clever problem-solving skills and wit as she navigates through tricky situations and aids her friends. This free-to-download mobile game challenges players to discover hidden objects in meticulously designed, colorful scenes. One of my favorite parts of the game is that as you progress through the game, you are able to remodel and improve your own estate. Discover June's Journey for free. Click the link in the description box and play on Android, iOS, and PC through Facebook Games. Although Lilly was fairly reserved, one could assume that she was all sunshine all the time. In reality, though, she went through a dark period in her life. After she'd had 3 children in 4 years, Peter, Minnie, and Lisa, and even though she loved her kids more than life, one friend explained that she was dealing with too many babies, one on top of another, and the whole new environment. She was a New York, Long Island girl, and suddenly she was in Palm Beach. With today's medical knowledge, we can attribute Pulitzer's change in demeanor to postpartum depression. Pulitzer had stated, "I had terrible anxiety attacks," and thankfully she sought help. Or, as she had stated so bluntly and yet somehow politely, "I went to the Nut House." The Nut House was a psychiatric hospital in Westchester County, New York. It was there that Pulitzer received an interesting treatment plan. She returned home armed with but one piece of medical advice. Nothing is wrong with you, so get a hobby. And get a hobby she did. Because Peter already owned orange groves in Florida, he suggested Lilly sell some of his produce. So, Lilly Pulitzer explained, "It started in the station wagon, just delivering fruit to houses. Then I had the place to store the fruit and write the orders for the gift boxes. And then I had a little juice stand with the bags of fruit." Lilly ended up meeting and going into the full fruit-selling business with a friend and former fashion editor of Harper's Bazaar, Laura Clark, then Laura Robbins. It was alongside this fashion-minded friend that Pulitzer would end up coming up with her brand. She stated, "Lilly, the girl who never cared any bit for fashion, had given her Palm Beach seamstress some patterned fabric. Make me a shift. Something to hide juice stains." Laura Clark stated, We went over to West Palm Beach and bought some remnants, and had her dressmaker and mine run a couple up. They were fine. They were amateurish, and we started selling those. Lilly stated, I asked my husband if we could place a few of my dresses in the Fruit Emporium, about 12 or 15. He retorted, no, 80. I exclaimed, you're utterly daft. And we just arbitrarily sold them for $22, and there was an absolute stampede. The dresses proved an instant sensation. And with that, Lilly Pulitzer, the brand, was born, and Lilly Pulitzer, the woman, was, perhaps, reborn. The inaugural lilies were crafted from fabrics procured from dime stores in West Palm Beach. We indeed caused quite a stir, she stated. Folks deemed the lily dress a passing trend. Yet here we are, steadfast and resolute. The allure of Lilly's creations stemmed from their departure from prevailing trends of the era. They stood in stark contrast to prevailing women's attire of the late 50s and early 60s. While others contorted themselves to fit into constricting garments, donning corsets, long-line bras, and stiletto heels, Lilly shunned such constraints. She possessed an effervescent spirit, a generous heart, and an insatiable zest for life. She relished fine cuisine and spirited liberations. Central to the brand's triumph was Lilly's coterie of society matrons, including Jackie Kennedy, whose endorsement catapulted Lilly Pulitzer into the limelight. When Jackie appeared in a polka dot Lilly shift during a journey in Capri in 1962, everyone needed a Lilly. When Pulitzer began selling her cotton shift dresses, it's doubtful that she ever imagined they would end up saving her life one day. Lilly had stated, I followed the doctor's advice to get a hobby and came out a lot stronger, and I haven't stopped since. After I got out of the nut house, I became much more assertive. While Pulitzer and Laura Clark were flying to Key West, the pilot failed to remember to refuel the aircraft. Their plane went down into shark-infested waters off of Marathon. It was almost dusk, and they were stranded on a submerged plane. But all hope was not lost. Clark took off her bright orange Lilly and flagged a passing helicopter. And soon Lilly and Peter Pulitzer's divorce came as sudden as their elopement. The couple's youngest daughter, Lisa Pulitzer, stated, It was traumatic. None of us even saw it coming, because there was never any fighting. According to Lilly, just days after the divorce was finalized, Lilly married Enrique Rousseau. Rousseau was a family friend from Cuba, and interestingly actually worked with Peter Pulitzer. When Enrique came to the United States, he had lost a lot of money in sugar, and then he went to work for Peter Pulitzer. He was building a Howard Johnson on the beach in Miami, and Enrique took over the building, watching it, and then he became the manager, and then he married me, stated Lilly. However, this was no rebound fling. My parents remained the best of friends, said Lisa, but the love of her life was Enrique. Sadly, in 1993, after 23 years of marriage, Enrique Rousseau passed away. Lilly said, He was a very, very wonderful guy. We were very Cuban. We had the entire Cuban nation in our house. We ate Cuban, sang Cuban, and laughed Cuban. Through it all, Lilly maintained her signature bright, printed aesthetic, and stated, The Lilly doesn't follow trends. It has become a kind of classic after all these years. Kind of on the order of a Chanel suit. It doesn't change. You can always recognize one. She kept designing until 1984, when, after a series of ill-timed expansions, combined with changing tastes towards more minimal designs, led the company to file for bankruptcy. Mom was never a businesswoman, but she was incredibly creative, stated Lisa. She never set out to become a recognizable designer. Her whole thing was being a free spirit. She was the happiest when she was designing. The pressures that she felt most were knowing how to run a business. And so, when it got to be too much, she closed the doors. The company was revived in the 90s by Sugartown Worldwide Incorporation, a company that owned the brand until 2010, when it was sold to Oxford Industries for $60 million. Stephen Stolman was the designer for that initial relaunch collection, and Lilly served as the creative consultant. The label had two lives, stated Stolman. There was the Lilly Pulitzer when Lilly herself had her hands on the clothes, and then there was the Lilly Pulitzer when the label became the property of a corporate entity. Those clothes, the post-corporate ownership clothes, are very, very different than the original clothes. It's as night and day as Coco Chanel's designs for Chanel versus Karl Lagerfeld's. Through the years, women and girls of all ages have worn the brand for the sunniest days of their lives and made the happiest memories in Lilly. They've connected on a deeper level with the brand. They've connected emotionally, said CEO Michelle Kelly. Lilly Pulitzer died on April 7, 2013 in Palm Beach, Florida, and to her funeral, in respect for her, everyone wore their finest Lilly Pulitzer garments. Perhaps the strongest testament to the brand that Lilly Pulitzer created lies in the entrepreneur's last name. Growing up, people always asked if we were any relation to the Pulitzer Prize, said Lisa, and now people ask if Lilly was my mom. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below, telling me if you enjoy wearing Lilly Pulitzer clothes. And make sure to download June's Journey for free, and I'll see you in the next video.